So Xbox just had a huge showcase this past week, including a crap ton of day one Xbox Game Pass games headed our way. We also got a lot more announcements for games that have surfaced for titles coming super soon, including a huge one coming in just 1 week. We're going to highlight the best stuff to have come out the past week, and keep in mind guys, every game on this list today is coming to Xbox Game Pass. Also, one cool part about this video, all these games are coming within the next 12 months. Thumbs up so we can help that algorithm find us some more Xbox gamers to join our community. So one thing that I want to go ahead and take note of guys is we were told hundreds of titles are coming in the next 12 months to Game Pass. Keep in mind, Game Pass already has 500 plus games currently, so the value is immensely insane at the moment, and it's only going to grow. So Xbox Game Pass is insanely awesome. Let's hit the latest news on the first Game Pass games with FIFA 22 coming on June 23rd. I've gotten to play this past year with the next gen improvements, and this is by far the best FIFA game I've gotten to play the last few years. The animations are fluid, gameplay is rock solid, and of course all the awesome modes that you guys love are still present. We won't have to wait long for this one as it arrives on June 23rd. So a recent surprise announcement of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is now available on Game Pass via PC, console, and Xbox Cloud Gaming. This beat 'em up is absolutely drawing from the classics I used to play back in my Nintendo days, and I'm loving this new 2022 version. It's keeping the game of old alive, but keeping it fresh with this 2022 package. Game looks gorgeous and is available now. Total War 3 Kingdoms heads to Game Pass for PC on June 21st. Full-blown strategy title and comes with over 50,000 very positive user reviews. This is an amazing war strategic game. Watch for this one soon. Now, this is a game that completely blew me by surprise. It wasn't featured at the Xbox showcase, but man, oh man, this game looks insane in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. From the makers of Friday the 13th, this will pit 4 survivors against 3 killers, including none other than Jason himself as a playable character that you can murder people with. This is now one of my most anticipated titles for 2023. I'd say it's at least in my top 10 for games next year. Oh, and of course, it's coming on Game Pass day one. So another pretty big announcement this past week is Valheim is headed to Xbox Game Pass in 2023. One of the most popular open world survival games of the past few years, it completely took the gaming world by storm. And the magical part about this fantasy survival title is that it lets you build what you want and create what you want, and it's coming fully fleshed out with all the years of updates to Xbox Game Pass. I'm really looking forward to seeing this and how it looks on Xbox consoles. Alright, with that guys, let's take a quick look at the Xbox games coming to Xbox Game Pass in the next 12 months from the showcase. And right off the bat, we got some much needed Redfall gameplay. I have to say the game looks awesome. Essentially a co-op open world horror game set in Massachusetts. Characters will have a variety of different abilities and powers, and the game just looks fantastic. This one is set to come in 2023 and of course will be on Game Pass. Now, a game that many indie hopefuls, and I'd say top 3 most popular indie franchise of all time, Hollow Knight Silksong, gets a new trailer and some new gameplay. What's key here of course is this one's headed to Game Pass day one, and even though we got no release date, this game will be coming within the next 12 months, so we should see it soon. So another game here, High Life. This looks like a crazy quirky sci-fi titles from the creators of Rick and Morty, and it just looks like a decent game for sure. Now, one of the biggest announcements from the showcase, and it got a lot of buzz, was the games from Riot. So League of Legends, Valorant, League of Runeterra, and Team Flight Tactics are all headed to Game Pass, but the kicker with this, guys, is that they're coming with all the characters and champions unlocked. Now, this is me guessing, but about $1,000 and many thousands of dollars worth of value is going to be coming and all available with Game Pass. So this was a huge partnership announcement. It now opens up 2 of the most popular games out there in Valorant and League of Legends, and I have to say, guys, this is much welcome to Game Pass for sure. Now, another gameplay trailer we got was for Plague Tale Requiem. This is one of my top games that I'm anticipating for 2022. I honestly feel like it has the potential to have Game of the Year nominations. Of course, that probably will end up going to Elden Ring ultimately, but I feel this is a game that right here has so much potential, guys. It's headed this year, of course. There's still no release date, but the gameplay and everything we've seen from Plague Tale Requiem tells me that it's just going to be an amazing title. Of course, it's coming to Game Pass day one. Now, one of the biggest announcements had to be Forza Motorsport. The game will have next-gen visuals, ray tracing, and the whole yard. There is a lot coming with this new Forza. It's also headed spring 2023, and that essentially means we won't have to wait long for this one to come. So Overwatch 2 was also announced, and I have to say the first one was one of my favorite player versus player games of the past 5 years. The gameplay is just fantastic. It's quick, it's very fluid. Overwatch 2 is coming to Xbox as a free-to-play title, and it's coming very soon on October 4th. So a new strategy game's headed to PC Game Pass, including on day one in Ara history Untold. Truthfully, I have to say this game looks like a very Civilization type of game, but ultimately we'll see. Ark 2 was also announced. It's coming in 2023. This will be headed to Game Pass, and I'm really all expecting with Ark 2 is just maybe a little bit more stable gameplay over the first one. Ark is still bringing in that amazing sandbox dinosaur goodness we've all come to expect. Also, I have to say, and maybe a lot of people don't know this, the first Ark is still one of the most popular games that it's being played on a daily basis today. So Ark 2 is going to be a big one to drop for Game Pass. Finally, we got a release date for a game that I've been anticipated headed to Game Pass in Scorn. This is launching on October 22nd. This is a horror title through and through. It's creepy as heck, and if you're into these creepy horror games, I think you'll really enjoy this one. Flynn Talk Siege of Dawn is also headed to Xbox and Game Pass in early 2023, and it's an action-packed game, magic-fueled with vast battlefields, an array of tools and magical abilities that you'll be using to fight off your enemies. Honestly, this is shaping up to be an excellent title, and I love that it's another day one title with Game Pass. A game that did get me hyped shockingly, is I'm not typically a Minecraft fan, but Minecraft Legends, guys, looks epic and certainly looks like a different flavor than the normal Minecraft, even something that I can get into. You'll be fighting off the piglins as they attempt to corrupt the world. This bad boy is headed to Game Pass day one sometime in 2023. So we have Lightyear Frontier. This looks like a fascinating take on maybe a sci-fi farming simulator. Maybe that's really the best way for me to put it. It honestly looks like a fantastic change of pace to the typical farming type of games that we pretty much see all the time. This one is arriving in early access in spring of 2023, but no word yet if it is headed to Game Pass. So we have Gunfire Reborn. This is actually coming in just some months now. It's a roguelike co-op shooter with shaded graphics, tons of weapons you'll be using from shooting builds to magic builds, and of course available via Game Pass on day one. So a game that I've talked about in the past now gets an official release date with the game As Dusk Falls. This is truly a full-blown story title with a ton of branching storylines. That basically means when you play one way and your friend plays the same game, there's going to be tons of different stories between both you guys, as you'll be choosing between tons of different things and you'll get tons of different results. And more than likely, those results won't be the same from you and your buddy. So it's really a deep story title, and we won't wait long for this one. It is headed to Game Pass and launches on July 19th. So Naraka Bladepoint launches in just a few weeks on Xbox Game Pass. This is a full brutal up to 60 player battle royale, and this one will be included on Game Pass on June 23rd. So we have Aeroband Shadow Legacy. This is a fast-paced stealth platformer. This one also hits Game Pass day one, but we have no release date on this one just yet. So on a personal level, the game that I think got me most excited to see more gameplay of was Diablo IV. It's announced the game will have cross-play, so you can play with PC players, and even cross-progression, and they unveiled the new Necromancer. I'm a huge fan of Diablo, and this has become one of my most anticipated games for 2023. I do fully expect to see it for Game Pass, even though it wasn't announced at this showcase. So Ravenlock's a brand new fantasy action game with some pretty unique visuals. This is another day one title headed to Game Pass sometime in 2023. We got the announcement for Woelong Final Dynasty. This is a dark fantasy action title. It's coming early 2023 to Game Pass. This game might be a hidden gem, and it's definitely one I'm going to watch for. So another big announcement is the release of Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royale. They're headed to Game Pass at some point, with Persona 5 Royale most specifically coming October 21st. Then the other two titles will come at a later date, but of course all of them headed to Xbox Game Pass. And if you've never played a JRPG or you're unfamiliar with the Persona titles, let me tell you guys are in for a treat. I'm actually not a fan of JRPG games, but the Persona series has a way of really sucking you in, even though aesthetically you might not even get into it, but the stories this game will tell are absolutely on another level. Then we have the last case of Benedict Fox. This is a new indie platformer. It's coming to Xbox Game Pass in the spring of 2023. The next game on this list, Pentamete. This is a curious game from, of all people, Obsidian Entertainment. It has a unique art style, looks like some pretty unique gameplay and storytelling. This one is also headed to Game Pass on November this year. And then from the creators of the game Limbo and Inside comes Cocoon, a top-down puzzle platformer coming to Game Pass sometime in 2023. So I quickly wanted to showcase a couple of games that are coming here pretty soon that were recently announced this past week before we get to our last final big games. Tinykin is set to hit Game Pass on August 30th. Amori has been shadow dropped and is available to play right now. Alright, finally guys, our last two announcements. We have Hideo Kojima made an announcement for a new game project with Xbox Game Studios. This looks like it's going to be a cloud-only game, and I'm really expecting this to be on another level of greatness. According to Kojima, it will be something we've never experienced, or at least that's what I'm paraphrasing from what he said. I'll have more on this maybe in another video, but this should be a good one. It's going to be many years away, and of course we'll see it on Game Pass, I'm sure. And finally guys, we got a full-blown look at Starfield. This is going to have apparently 1,000 planets you can explore. The gameplay looked fantastic. Definitely reminds you a bit of No Man's Sky, but it's up a notch in quality. Character creation looked great. The gunplay looked fun. The crafting and building your spaceship and picking your crew, I mean, just looks like it's got some amazing stuff going for it. I mean, I'm not sure what else I can say other than this has to be easily one of the most anticipated titles coming next year. I think it's my number one, and of course this bad boy is going to be headed to Game Pass. Let me know which announcements you guys are most hyped for. Click the video on the top left if you guys want to know the best games on Xbox Game Pass.